Hey everyone, this is the Everyday Average Sim Racer, and today we're talking about Dirt Rally 2. So, in a recent video of mine, you may have seen that I picked up a cheap USB handbrake off of Amazon. If you're interested in a review of that, check out my video, I'll link it down below. However, in the last couple weeks of trying out the handbrake and testing it out and everything, obviously I thought no better way to do that than rally racing and rallycross. I happen to have already picked up Dirt Rally 2 previously a month or two back when it was on a Steam sale. I think I got for about $15 Canadian for the deluxe edition that comes with all the DLC, everything else. So you're probably on sale looking at about $10 American, I believe that comes out to. So I've been playing it and I thought, well, this game has been out for a while now. I think pushing a year and a half even. That there's been a ton of updates, a ton of added content, and I thought, well, it's on sale and stuff quite a bit. People might be looking for updated reviews, so I'll give you my updated impressions here in August of 2020, where the game stands now, how it runs for me, and everything else. And let's get started. So let's start off with some of the surface level things like the graphics and the sound. For me personally, graphics have never been a big deal. It's of low priority when it comes to a sim racing game. In other genres of games, sure, I love the great graphics. And in sim racing, sure, if it's got great graphics, that's a cherry on top. It's just not something I really care about because, quite frankly, when I'm racing, I just never notice it, no matter how good it is. Occasionally you'll get one thing here and there that really stands out, but for the most part graphics don't stand out to me that much. That being said, this game, it looks pretty good. Nothing special, nothing terrible. Well, the fans along the side might look somewhat terrible, but again, you race past them, you see them for a second or two, and they're gone. Only if you're into replays will you maybe see them a little more often. But in general, the game looks fine. Nothing great, nothing terrible. I will say one thing that did stand out is on a couple stages, forested stages, at dusk, with a wet surface, when the light is shining through the trees of the setting sun, and it's reflecting off the wet ground and stuff. Those in particular did look quite nice. The lighting just seems to be very good in this game, while everything else kind of mediocre. I mean, it doesn't stand out as being bad. Just nothing special either. I will give it credit though, for performance-wise. I have a Ryzen 5 3600 along with an RTX 2070. I run this game max settings, and it just runs smooth as butter. 90 to 100 frames, sometimes more, no issues, never really any hitches. I'll say right now, if you see any hitches or stuttering in this video, that's from me recording with OBS. I haven't quite got that dialed in exactly, so that's not the game itself. I never have those issues in-game, so don't worry about that. I'll also say I did try it out on my Oculus CV1 for VR. Obviously, the CV1 has its own issues with resolution and everything else. That aside, though, I will say when I plugged it in, this game reverted to medium settings automatically. Now, I didn't mess with them at all. Tried it right there at medium settings. And for VR, I'll say this is one of the better games I've played in VR. At medium settings, very smooth frame rate. I'm not sure what they're doing, it just seems more clear. I know obviously the resolution's the same, but I feel like things are a little more clear when looking at it with the CV1. Can't speak to any of the other headsets, it's the only one I got. But it runs very smoothly, looks great in VR, I will give it that much. And yeah, I'm impressed with the VR. I didn't mess with the settings. I might have been able to bump them up even further, I don't know, but it looked good and was running great, so I just left it where it was. Moving on to sound. Sound to me is a lot like the graphics in this game. Well, it's not bad at all. Nothing sticks out as being bad. Nothing sticks out as being special. I played quite a bit of Race Room. That game sounds tremendous. This game's just not at that level. It's good. You can tell the different sounds of the different surfaces you're driving on. The cars have some different sounds. None of them sound terrible. I know some games you get into, like everyone says, they sound like vacuum cleaners. This one, not so much. It sounds fine. Just nothing overly special. One nice touch I did find, though, was with the co-driver. And something that I only notice rarely, but every now and then, while he's reading out the instructions and everything, you would hear him do a little cough or a little bit of a deep inhale. And it's something I rarely heard, but you would hear it from time to time. And I just thought that was a nice touch. A lot of rally games, the co-driver's just robotic, just reading it out. Sometimes it literally sounds like one of those robot voices you get with text to speech. This one is a bit better. They could have done that a little more, made it seem a little more human, but all in all, the sound, it's decent, and I'll leave you right now with a quick clip demonstrating some of the sound.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 56 left of a crest, 80, 5 right of a crest into deceptive, 4 left, 2 right of a crest long. To flat middle of a jump, 50, 6 left of a dip, 200, turn unseen, hairpin left. Opens 120. 6 right of a crest long, 250.
Alright, let's talk about how this game feels now. So let's start off with the physics, and I am not going to make any claims one way or the other how realistic this game feels, as I can't say I've ever had experience driving an actual rally car. That said, it does feel like you would expect it to. Whether that's realistic or not, it feels like how you imagine a rally car would feel, to put it that way. It's fun. You do notice definitely notice the big changes in between different surfaces, whether you're on loose gravel, loose dirt, or whether on tarmac, cobblestone, snow, whether it's wet, dry, all that. Definitely you feel those differences, and it gives you the impression, at the very least, of a realistic driving experience. Again, I can't say for sure if it is or not, but it does feel that way. And overall, I'm happy with it. It's just fun to drive. And really, that's what it comes down to. And in terms of, simulation / arcade, that kind of stuff, I mean, you have to drive the car properly. You can't just smash into the banks and bounce off of them in a hairpin, anything like that. You will damage your car. It does seem to take a decent hits to actually damage your car, but rally cars, as far as I'm aware, are built to be quite rugged to begin with, so it feels right, put it that way. When it comes to the force feedback and feeling that car through the wheel, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Out of the box, I fired up the game, made 0 changes, just went right into it, and for me, it felt terrible. I went online, checked out the forums, checked out people's different settings, and I kind of mixed and matched some of the settings from others. I never found one set that I really liked. And in the end, really, it was kind of slight tweaks from the default that felt terrible, but those slight tweaks just made the difference. Just to put that out there, upon reading about it, I guess when this game first came out, the force feedback was just broken in a lot of cases, and you will come across a whole bunch of posts about a tweak to get it working and everything else. Those are no longer needed. I tried those to see if they'd still help, and really they just make it way too strong. Your wheel starts clipping, well, at least in my case with a TSPC, was clipping like crazy. So just be aware of that, because those issues have been fixed since release. Again, we're well more than a year since the release of this game, so really it only takes some tweaks within the menu settings and possibly your individual wheel settings. But I got it to a point where it feels pretty good. It's not the best force feedback I've ever felt in the world, but it definitely feels alright. Like, I definitely get the feelings I need to get through it. I know when the car's sliding, I know when it's understeering. It's not perfect, but it's there. So overall, the force feedback's decent, not great, but it gets the job done. Alright, so we've talked about how the game looks, sounds, and how it drives, so let's look at, when you put all that together, what you do with all of it, which is the various game modes. So there is a decent number of game modes in this game. Essentially, it's all what you would expect. Different ways to rally race and to experience different cars and whatnot. Of course, there's Rally X as well, so... But looking at the main menu when you first start up, you're looking at your My Team menu, which is essentially the career mode. I've hopped in this a little bit, and I don't know, for a career mode it's pretty underwhelming, especially a game like this, which I feel like is mostly a single player game. There's not a whole lot of multiplayer options outside of various modes with leaderboards and whatnot, which it's rally racing. I mean, outside of the Rally X, it's kind of how it is. You're out there on your own. I know in real life rally, obviously there's staggered starts and all that, but it makes sense for the leaderboards, and there's just not a lot of multiplayer. So you would hope for a fairly in-depth career mode, but really this is what you get. So to take a look, you've got events, which is basically just all the races you'll do. You've got your career rally, you've got your career rally cross, and basically it's just a rally championship. A bunch of races, you do collect points per race, you know the deal. It's how all racing series work, essentially. I mean, between races, even in between stages, you do damage. You can see my car right now from the last race I did has some damage, and you can elect to repair it, replace it. All cost different amounts of money. As you can see up here, you've got your bank, essentially. So all that goes to doing the repairs, upgrades, and whatnot, which we'll get to in a second. So you have these in between races. We'll exit repairs here. Engine, so it's constantly kind of researching new engine upgrades. And as it unlocks, you can elect to buy it and equip it to your car. It's pretty just a simple thing. It's just one of the things feels like it's tacked on to like try to give more depth to it. Doesn't really do much outside of during after a certain amount of time goes by, you get a bit of a faster engine. So you see, like this one I haven't actually done, so if I wanted to put that on my car, it's 40,000 credits. This one you can see here's a quarter of the way researched. Then you've got upgrades. You can see I've done a couple here. There's a couple others. So you've got unlock tuning of the car, and I don't know how to do setups, so So in regular racing, I barely know. I know the super basics when it comes to setups. When it comes to rallies, rally cars, rally racing, I really don't know. So I haven't even got into that at all. Got brake durability, suspension durability, gearbox durability. I mean, there's just not much. Like, you got these 4 things. When you have the credits, you add it to it, and that's pretty much it. Well, when we go back, you'll see the garage. So basically, these upgrades are going to this one car only. So if I ever want to run another championship in a different car, then I'm starting from scratch in terms of upgrades again. So the Rallycross career, exactly the same, except you're doing Rallycross. That's about it. The other parts, then you get into the special events. So you got, as you can see, daily challenges. So you knock these out. There's a leaderboard, a global leaderboard you're put on. Depending how well you do, you earn a certain amount of credits. Daily challenges, I believe you only get the one shot. You can't keep redoing them. I think that's how it works anyways. Seemed to when I tried it. You got your weekly challenges. Then you're in the community events. It's just basically the same, kind of the same thing, daily and weekly. And AI challenges, which I've never actually tried those yet, so I'm not quite sure what they are. I think it might have other cars out there with you, but I'm not positive on that. As you can see, these are rewards depending on how well you do. So on the leaderboards, you go into certain tiers depending what place you're in, and you can earn that amount of credits based on your placing. So pretty simple. When it comes to the career mode, also you can hire staff. It's just another thing that seems to really have been put on as just a way to give a little more depth, but I don't know. It's not overly fun, not overly interesting to do. So you can see you can upgrade your co-pilot. That just, just be better out there, basically. You've got engineer, your chief engineer, your engineers. So as you can see, you can upgrade his research knowledge, reduce requirements to research, basically. Will speed things up, maybe. So they'll all do different things. Then you can hire extra engineers. I think they all have the same thing, so I guess if you have more of them, your team is better as a whole. Or you can have some that are front-wheel drive experts, others four-wheel drive experts kind of thing, but I mean, ultimately, to me, it just doesn't give you just feel like you're doing some races, almost like any other mode. This stuff is not even fun enough for me I tried it out a little bit just to figure it out, but it's just not overly fun. So the career mode in this game definitely could be quite a bit better. Like, just something where you start off in the lower end and work your way up even into higher end cars, or depending on how well you do, move up to a higher end series with a team, that kind of thing. In the end, it's very, very basic. Move on to free play. You've got some various things, time trials, just go out there, put up times. You do get put on a leaderboard, so you can pick whatever rally you want, or whatever rally, pick the individual stages you want, pick the weather you want. So not all tracks in this game do have access to every weather condition. So you can see this one in particular, I could do daytime clear and dry, or dusk, heavy rain with a wet surface. So that's it. I can't pick daytime rain. I can't pick, say, dusk with clear but a wet surface. Nothing like that. So you are stuck to the couple options you're given. Moving forward, I want to speed this up. Free roam is you free roam Dirtfish Rally School, and I tried it out. You just kind of drive around, do the track however you want it. It's no real point to it that I can see. Custom seems to be where you, as far as I can tell, where you do online stuff. So you could create your own, but you can also find. So, and this is another thing when it comes to the online in this game, is not only is there not a whole lot, but you can see here there's one I could join right now. Well, it's in progress, but basically one Rally X event people are doing online right now. It's I've never really seen more than 2 or 3, so in terms of, you know, an online community, it's just not there. Don't expect to be able to jump on, do races online with random people whenever you want. It's just not there. If you're interested in online, you're definitely going to have to look elsewhere. And historic, I mean, you go through various groups here, so well, I didn't mean to do that. But anyways, you pick different eras. You have a series of races, get through those, you unlock the next era, essentially. Let me quit back out to the menu here real quick. But it's fun in order to just, you know, race on different tracks with different cars that maybe you don't use or wouldn't be inclined to use. So it's a fun little mode to try out different things. Then you got the World Rallycross Championship. So, of course, they've got the official license for the FIA World Rallycross. So this is basically like doing a season. Do a season of the Rallycross season, and that's pretty much it. Kind of what you do in the career mode, but this is the official FIA set up Rallycross Championship. RaceNet clubs I haven't really got into. You gotta go online, set that up. I think that's almost like clans in another style of game, essentially. World Series, this is essentially an esports thing they do, you know, with, you can earn real money and whatnot. I'm nowhere near good enough at any racing game for that, let alone rally. So I haven't bothered to get into it at all, but it's there if you want to compete against others and try to get up there and earn some real money. Now you got this Colin McRae part. This, I believe, is only in the deluxe edition unless you bought the DLC for the regular edition. Which is a pretty cool little thing. I like this. You can see I barely started, but you essentially have it's kind of like the historic part, except it's all about Colin McRae. So you see the first one, 84 to 89. You got various events, but unlike so it's not just racing. So you can see this first one, Scotland, finished the stage without suffering terminal damage. So you do get kind of different objectives to do, and it's all kind of based on events in Colin McRae's career. So here you can see taking control of the final stage, win your first national championship by finishing at least second. This one I've tried, haven't been able to beat yet. Maintain your current position, finish top 5 with a damaged engine mount. So you're already starting with damage to begin it. So it's pretty cool. I like this mode. Also, not that you see it right now, but when you first select one of the eras from the previous menu here, you do get a little video talking about Colin McRae, his career, the cars he drove during that era, and whatnot. So it is a nice little history. I mean, it's not super deep in to the videos are maybe 30 seconds long or so, so it's not, you're not getting a super deep history, but it's a fun mode. And again, you get these objectives and different scenarios, which is nice for changing it up. Of course, you're driving Colin McRae's cars, the cars he drove in these scenarios. And like I said, it's actually, even this first one, like, it's... Now, I'm not that great at this game, so could just be me. I found it very tough, just even at the default difficulty levels. But it's a fun mode. Again, I got the deluxe edition. That's why that's here. If you have the regular edition, this is part of a separate DLC pack, so don't expect this in the regular edition by itself. But it's a fun mode that's probably worth it. I think when I looked here in Canada, that DLC specifically is about $11. Which in the US would be probably about $8 or so, which for this mode, and you get a few extra cars. I believe the Scotland track and a couple others come specifically with this downloadable content, so it's worth it. It's if you had the standard edition, I think this is a nice little add-on to it. Then you've got the store. This will just, I believe, take you to Steam page. Now, again, I got the deluxe edition, and it came with all the DLC and everything else. That's how I would suggest getting this game. When you look in the Steam store, the DLC for this game is just through the roof. There's so much of it. As far as I'm aware, I believe they brought back a lot of the tracks from Dirt Rally 1, but they're all as DLC. A lot of the cars are DLC. Well, individually, not too bad. I think they're like $3 or something, but there's a lot of them. So if you want all of it, it's going to cost a lot, or just get the deluxe edition. Ultimately, that's your preference. If you feel like the base content's all you want to play, then go with the standard edition. But if you think there's even a few bits of DLC you're going to want, then just get the deluxe. By itself, alone's probably worth it to get the Colin McRae part. Because for me, the prices I've seen for the game, at least when it goes on sale, really, you're paying like $5 or $6 extra to get the deluxe edition. So really, that's worth it. And that pretty much rounds out the game modes. Alright, so just some final thoughts here on this game. Based on what I've read about the release, seems like a whole lot of the issues have been worked out with the updates over the time, as you would expect. And the game plays fine, feels fine. Overall, for a rally game, it's really good. It's the best one out there that I've tried. A lot of people still go back to play Richard Burns Rally, I know. I've never tried it, but if you want something modern, this is, out of the ones I've played, this is the best one out there. Of course, it's not without its faults. I mean, graphics and whatnot, not, in my opinion, not a big deal. The career mode definitely could be a lot better, especially for something that's so heavily single player. You would like a more in-depth career mode, not just the tacked on options to give a little depth. The rest of the game modes, there's good selection. There's good modes that help you just try out different tracks, different cars, and everything else. Again, like I mentioned earlier, driving is just fun. That's the best way to explain it. It's just a fun game to drive. So all in all, I do like this game, especially if you get it on sale. It's definitely worth it. Even for the casual, like me, a casual rally guy, that I'm not gonna play it a whole lot, but it's fun to jump on every now and then. You get it on the sale prices, like I said earlier. I got this for $15 Canadian, so that's about $10 American. Maybe 11 or 12, but I don't know exactly how it works out on Steam, but it's worth it, especially if you get it at that sale price. I mean, most games are worth it at that kind of price, quite frankly, but if you want something to just change it up a bit if you mostly do, just normal road racing and whatnot, this is a good one. Like, there's nothing out and out bad about it, and a lot of parts are really good, and in the end, it just comes down to that it's fun. It's just fun to play. So I'll leave it there. I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button and give me a like there. But otherwise, I will see you next time.